Good morning. Um, for today, 28th of February 2020. Today is also the start of the Marek in KL. This presentation today I'm doing for a preparatory presentation to the NCC course coming up on 7th or 8th of March. So it's about PropTech. PropTech, however, never been mentioned in my talk before. This is something which I find quite interesting and also important for estate agency work. Let me begin. So IT in social media and Facebook and websites are actually commonly used now for estate agency practice, especially in the area of making advertisement for listings. So before we all think about going into IT for doing advertisement for estate agency practice, what are the questions that a lot of people have in their mind? Usually, I think the people going into estate agency work actually ask this question: why necessarily to have a website or a social media platform or doing video or WhatsApp for this purpose of estate agency work? So why do they have to do that? And in fact, in the many years, old days, this never existent. So they for the fact of today's handphone use, so this is something which they have in question. So if you do not do all these things, are you able to do estate agency work? Why is it important? And then if let's say you have to come out to do it for the purpose of looking for a client, a prospect, then how to start from zero? Is it going to cost a lot of money to do this? And then if usually people who are at the age of 40, 50 years old now going into negotiator classes, then they will feel that they are not so tech savvy. So how do they start from there? And then, well, minimum is to use something like Muda, Property Guru, or some of these common portals. So is it okay just to do that? And then some actually even uh, take one step backward and say that it's okay I just hang banner at the property. So before we drill drill in on a deep dive into IT. IT in fact is quite a wide range of information. So it's information in one word, and then the other one is the technology. So if you go through some of the formal programs, IT studies, then you come to know about all these terms. So basically, IT summarize information using computer. So you have the computers, which is hardware, and then you have the software programs, and then the use for communicating with people and using uh, communication gadgets and devices. And then it involve people, business, and at times even copyright, legality, and also the risk of being hacked, like in the banking system, security. So information which is valuable actually is in fact even reason for trade war like Huawei. So my talk today will be more on how to use website, how to use Facebook marketing, how to use social media, YouTube, and video making to enhance your work in estate promotion. And lastly, some of the technology used in the communication, the program used in telecommunication. So let me go into part one, listing of websites. in traditional system of listing is a term used for making prospect giving us property for sale or for rent or looking for a property and then advertise out to our clients for matching of the property to the correct buyer or tenant. So in the US, there's about maybe in tens and hundreds of electronic media that is used to advertise the listing. Common challenges on this is that people tend to feel it's costly to actually on a website and then to continue maintaining and in fact enhancing the website lah. So at the end there's issue of no traffic, no content, and then it's a lot of situation that people are doing the same thing. So it's like you have a website, I also have a website, so there is no significance of my website over choices of too many properties. So looks like not all that glitters is gold lah. So not that every website is a website that seems to add value to customers. So we tend to classify websites for listing into two major group. One is the agency on website or developer on website, and the other one is the professionally run third-party agency company website. So this agency company means marketing agency. They are not estate agency enterprises. So they are professional marketing company that handles digital marketing. So in fact, they are like iProperty, Property Guru, Muda. So in the part that people ask about why is it the need to use listing websites on your own is there are a few reasons. One is you have a solution to how to advertise to the World Wide Web under your control. So you are being actually in a position to control your own advertising. So using website, you have this advantage that it is permanent. It is your own domain name. It's your own server. Although you may be parking your own folder, your own files into a professional server company lah, but it is yours, and you have quite a low maintenance cost of about 1 to 2 ringgit a day. So which is in fact manageable lah by most people. And if it is a design of your own and your own intellectual creation, then it is your also intellectual property. You have the copyright on it lah. Right. Some of the commonly used portals are things like this iProperty, Muda, Property Guru, and Land Plus. So of course they are established and they have been around for a while. They are third-party websites. They are also not agencies. I mean, they are not estate agency company, and they only put up for advertisement. So in the interpretation of the estate agency practice under the law 22B section subsection 1A, it says that you are holding out to public, you are holding out as a estate agent to the public, and then to do one of the five things. What are the five things? This first is to sell, second is to rent, third is to look for property, number four is to make known, to advertise to make known, and then number five is tenancy administration. So this portal or these websites, they are just advertising, so they are not completely as in the interpretation of the law doing estate agency practice, because they don't go out and hold a booking fee or represent the owner. So they are just notice board to put the advertisement. So the person who put out the advertisement is engaging the public to come forward, and then the website is just a platform. So in that way, they are saying that they are not doing estate agency practice. Of course, if you own your own website and then you publish out your advertisement and then engage with the clients yourself, then it becomes estate agency practice. So this is a typical way how website looks. A good website looks clean and very nice picture with the few particulars about the property. By clicking into the particular listing, you can get more details of the listing. Nowadays, a lot of websites are all equipped with maps, so you can actually tell where this property listed is. Then next is that ultimately in the technology or infrastructure of the website, they are evolving tools that actually appears well in different forms of device. So they look at the website for PC and then laptop and also handphone and tablet. So sometimes you may think that maybe it is not necessary to have your own apps in the handphone, because the handphone is also pretty easily able to give navigation for a simple website. So I've done about 4 websites. We have here 4. One is first estateagentexam.com, and then on the bottom yellow color is actually a blog, and then the other 2 are listing websites. So I have some experience over years doing website for listing and use in estate agency practice. Of course, I am a professional estate agent. I'm practicing under a firm, so all the engagement through the website would be still under the firm. So what is in it for me if I have my own website, like let's say iabc.com, it's actually for a few benefits like my ownership so it is mine and then I have a permanent landing page, meaning that at any time and anyone, any prospect of mine can come to this URL, this domain name, and see my own page, my own control. And last, of course, not least, is that maybe I able to capture some data or information on the client or prospect. Well, all these maybe need to be scalable or improve over time. As you open up a website, then maybe over time you are able to improve by doing more things about the website. In fact, including things like capturing data and sending out email and also reminder campaign and everything. So it's going to serve as a big notice board, and you can include also videos that you do into the website. At the end, the ultimate way of how websites are needed in the business is that it become a point of sales, POS, so that concluding some decision making into the website. Like in the case of banking website, you can actually transact in a way transact money, transact your savings account or your transfer of money to other person. So website building is very simple now using some of the ready to use platform. You can build your website in minutes. So some of these are like Blogger Wix and there are many of them in the market. So you can actually learn how to use this Blogger thing quite easily and tailor-made to your own team or your own purpose. If you get to be higher level and want to do a more professional website, then of course things like WordPress can be useful. WordPress is the platform I use for all my website now. Include a lot of integration with other they call plugins. So all these are uh, quite easy to use. You do not need to really have high training on the part of coding. So in fact you can do without coding lah. So what's the thought is that it is not that simple. How your website is going to work, what is how what is it is going to actually depend on a lot of things, like how are you being different from others, Do you have any better content than others? Is it a good website, lot fast and lot smoothly? Is it secure, especially if you are, say, getting email or getting particulars of your prospect? And then the end of it is that what is it there for the user? So is there a user perceived value? So if a user perceive value for your website is good, then your visit or your visitors will come back and uh, visit your website. If it's similar to any other websites, then likelihood is that your visitor will not come back. So there's a lot of expectation by customer today. So this perceived value, and then you need to give this perceived value, and what are the values that probably stand as a foundation to this perceived value. It will be things that your website gives information which is accurate, and you have a good match for his purpose. That means he wants to go for a certain range of property listing. Then you have that matching easily filter out for him, and it has a good in educational manner to inform and also to educate the visitor for good and sustainable type of messages. Clarity is very important because some of the information must also be clean rather than ambiguous. IT in real estate, in fact, stand from a more complicated sense than just website from the surface. I would like to just use this to summarize. So at the part of the topic of today's discussion is on property tax, prop tech, property tech. So this very big jargon nowadays talk about is about the use of artificial intelligence or what they call data and data science into uh, engaging client and also hopefully matching the correct property to the right client. So you have a few of these terms that I would like to go through. One is machine learning, big data, data processing, business intelligence, statistics, data science, artificial intelligence, property tech, or sometimes they also use the word fintech in real estate, and tech-enabled agent or tech agency, and also intelligent building. So of course, the term ICT in real estate doesn't just mean IT use in estate agency work. So this you need to be one step backward and say that actually in the bigger picture and helicopter view, IT in real estate includes also other aspects like IT in construction, IT in use for managing a building, property management. So estate agency work is only probably one of the few area how IT can use in real estate. So likely, just to summarize, generally how it work is that information about clients, information about property are being managed, and then matching part of analysis is arrived at using all these data science and end up that the best way to actually solve the issue of housing. So this is the idea behind tech enabled real estate. So PropTech is the term. So this slide shows quite a complete description on PropTech market. So you have construction technology, property technology, and then the finance technology merging into each other. And then you have the on the top of the PropTech, the smart real estate. So smart real estate is like using IT into managing the estate, the real estate. And then of course you have area where PropTech and FinTech join together, whereby finances like how to make payment for property going through a system of finances. Like over the years, you have the REIT, REIT. So the real estate investment trust. So those things are on the online system of how to manage those investments can be used for property tech. So these are startups, PropTechs are startups, and a lot of startups are there in the emerging markets and also in the mature markets because property ranges from emerging market to even the mature markets. So likely intelligent cities, buildings, actually talking about green buildings and all those things are all also under PropTech. So likely we are in the mid of these changes, and likely we are actually being bombarded left, right, and center by all the high-tech gadgets that is used in real estate. So how does it actually happen? In fact, if you go back, the first information on uh, real estate is actually more of mouth to mouth. So it's like inefficient market. So you actually have information that is not captured. So information is slow and is sometimes even secret, closed door, and also some hearsay. Months later only then it is actually seen as a transaction done. So this means that it's a very inefficient market and not like the IT enabled finance market where like stock market it is transparent and informed and immediate. So now you are looking at IT being associated with market that is transparent, but then now you are looking at IT coming into real estate, which is at uh, current time or at one time earlier on is a very inefficient market. So why is it so? Because this inefficient market is changing. Things are being digitalized. And also because that all the technology is going to improve efficiency and also save cost. And definitely real estate is a big expensive big ticket item. So definitely use of technology and efficiency into a market that is huge uh, price tag can actually result in a huge saving. So therefore, there is this very big advantage that ICT use or IT use in real estate can bring forward some major saving areas. And property is actually quite standard. It doesn't really change over time very much. Not very fluid in the sense that if you have good location, you'll be good location for some time. If you can qualify that area as a good location, I mean, maybe a few years later, it's still good location. So if you capture the data and digitalize it, then it become useful because this information stays as it is for a period of time. And definitely matching property for the right audience is price dependent. And data analysis to match this is important, and then the value to do this in a short time and also to have the best use of the information at the right time, which is timely, is actually what this IT is able to help in real estate. Right. So there are a few things that I like to maybe give an example of how IT can be applied or deployed in area of analysis. One is, of course, price per unit area. So some of this information is already digitalized. You can actually compare a property to another by using price per square area. So like if you say, okay, Kuching is about 450 ringgit per square feet, and then in KL is about 900 and maybe 50 per square feet. So Kuching houses seems to be more affordable than KL. So this is a good information for people who are going in to buy and therefore looking at the range of the available match. Then the person make a decision. Average house size also is an important area for developer because it gives the idea that all right, I need to make at least 1,200 square feet. or 1,100 square feet, and therefore making a size that is suitable for the marketplace will enable a developer to sell more of the units rather than selling smaller size unit, and then a lot of people are not buying. So these are information that previously there was never any digitalization, no capture of this information, and people tends to just buy on gut feeling. So likely, if you are to compare property, I have also come up with a term called comparative index, which is my area of interest, and later maybe you can just go through it. So this is a website which I have done for contract to you index, and ability to give a rating, ranking for the index. So likely people can compare properties by using this website, and therefore able to come up with a more knowledgeable choice of what property to choose. So likely, in fact, the PropTech term, PropTech is in the current interpretation is actually under PropTech 2.0 lah. So in the earlier days, which is the time when I describe as property market as in very inefficient and not transparent, it becomes agent centric. That means traditionally business move in the sense that some of the people know the market well, but majority of the people are actually quite distant away from the information on the ground. So you need to go for a agency experienced person, that the person can tell you that, okay, in this area, the price per square feet is roughly at a certain range, because based on his data or his collection of information before, let's say 20 years of experience in the area. Therefore, he understands the market situation of that area. But this data is not shared, it's not available to the public. Now, in coming years, uh, we move on to PropTech 2.0 and PropTech 2, maybe 3. So here it means it's a digitalized model, data-driven analysis. So some of the uh, technologies of IT is being used for purpose of capturing more accurate ground level data, like brick stock mine, which is actually able to give you a transacted price for the last 6 months to a few years. So therefore, you have use of this information to enable decision making, and eventually it goes to real estate fintech using finance into real estate, and also blockchain, which is something used in the digital currency for completing of a sales transaction. So maybe a future transaction on sales using blockchain technology, you can actually transact a house online. So that means by looking at the property online, you may be able to even end up buying a property online. Likely this how blockchain streamlines the property transaction process is something into the future lah. So at the end it is simple to understand, but then complex to really go into real practice. So this one, let's say from the top left, going for a transaction agreed, and then going into paperless transaction, and coming to a blockchain and sign, and then eventually get a key. So this is something which is still not likely done in the short future, but then maybe in the long term, this can be done. So to summarize the PropTech evolution, is a PropTech 1.0 is a lot of time, like, using the old technology. There is a lot of hearsay, and then it's difficult to even understand or even have a clear information. Now, PropTech 2.0, we are in this era of digitalization in real estate. So things are moving into internet and moving into devices. And we have a very fast pace way of how property market behave now in the uh, time of internet. People in fact sell their property over different country even. So concept like sharing economy lah, booking lah, Airbnb lah, all these are actually all PropTech using technology into how to deal with property. Data are being actually put online, and then you can have customers actually having visual reality lah, to know about your property. So last is that the PropTech 3 problem focus verticals to come to a point of even transacting property and managing smart technologies like artificial intelligence to know who are the strata of the market, and also to in fact have ready buyer lah, almost so the developer would know who are the ready buyers, what type of ready buyers and their behavior, and then they start planning probably a new launch for this group of segment. So this is a busy graph, and then it shows that there are a lot of PropTech company coming up on this area lah. So in fact, if you go into the internet and find out, search for all these PropTech, you can see in many regions and countries there are a lot of these small companies doing startup for PropTech. So PropTech 2.0 and PropTech 3. So likely you're going to have robotics, audio visual, VR, cyber type of things for use in the future lah, for uh, marketing, for even the developer, for managing the property, for concluding a sales. So next chapter or next section of my talk is about social media. So social media here means Facebook lah, YouTube LinkedIn all this. So we go to the second section now. Facebook for business. So likely you have used Facebook and you have also used Facebook ads. So it's quite common and also easy to use, not very costly. In fact, it is one of the more economical way of publishing. But again, your audience is just Facebook audience. You cannot be hoping that everyone has Facebook account. So in fact, it's quite fast because a lot of news are now traveling in Facebook. People tend to read newspaper for news, but now people actually use Facebook for faster information. So this is one of the examples that I say maybe you can go in and have a look, the essential guide to Facebook ads, and then I have gone through all the guides, and it seems that it's quite easy. There is also video tutorial. So like I said, there are many ways that you can use Facebook. One is to boost a post. Let's say you put up a post and then you say, okay, now I want to have more audience for my post. So you boost a post. You can actually promote your page. Let's say you have a website, then you have a link to your Facebook, and then you say something about your website, and then you put a button. So people will click the button to go to your website. Also promote, let's say you have a local restaurant, and then now you have a new main menu and or new signature dish. So now you say, okay, promote your business locally. So then you will be sent to all your Facebook fans on the same location, or you have all the whoever Facebook account holders of that area being receiving your Facebook ad. Now this is the three summaries on the performance of the Facebook advertisement. So one is that you get to have a start date and an end date, and also some of the key information like how much is your budget, and also who are your audience. So audience you can sub-select. In fact, to make it better, you sub-select under different targeting and location. So you have professional job targeting, and also you can have location targeting. You can target just Malaysia or just certain township in Malaysia. So they will select the users of the Facebooks on this particular audience specific. Lastly, you have to make a payment gateway for the Facebook to charge you how much you are outstanding. So usually it is a MasterCard or Visa card, credit card. Likely, these are summaries of how I have done, and then you can actually do learn more button clicks to improve your awareness of your certain product or certain services. You can also do pause engagement, or you can do website visitor lah. So like just now we have a different way of how Facebook enable you to sub-select page, sub-select audience. So the answer on this is that you have a advertisement, and then later on you see that how many people it tried to reach, and how many actually did the click. So you have a good image, in fact important. You have a good tagline, right? And then you have a good button, so that people would go to see what is in your uh, promotion. So this means that if you have your own website, then you can link your website to your Facebook. And then when people click that particular link, it goes to that particular post. And therefore, you actually allow people to read more about the information of the listing. So in this sense, your website design and ability of your website to carry the picture to be shown into Facebook, the integration of the website into Facebook is also a key point, a key factor. So rightly, you can do slideshows also in the Facebook ad. You can also add a video. So when people go to your Facebook, they see a video. So of course, these are technology lah, and this also linked to the third topic that I want to do is called the YouTube video VR, visual reality. Social forum, in fact, is one of the key area of social media. But then now the social forum thing is uh, less been mentioned because people try to engage in more like Facebook rather than those in the old days Lao Yat forum, Lao Yat net, because this is like in the Facebook it will become comment lah. So the individualized comment in Facebook rather than you go into sign into a web page and then you do it on a web page without much of a graphic and a video. So now Facebook integrate all this with all the videos and color pictures and images, whereas in the old days Lao Yat is basically just using text. So video recording, I like to play a video for this purpose, using handphone or using camera. So usually we all use handphone nowadays because handphone is pretty much high on the resolution as well. So now the video making, in fact, using your handphone, you go to your particular property or listing, and then you can do video tapping lah. So in this case, I have used video for video channel in YouTube, and then this is just the top property lah. So I have uploaded a few videos. One of it is as an example here. So of course, this particular video we not doing sound, and I can include the sound if there is a sound effect. So you can in a way include music into the video and embed it into website. So let us move on. So for YouTube channel, now you have done your video, you can upload your videos into a YouTube channel. Like I have done it in a YouTube, a few channel in the YouTube. One of it is here. I'll give you an example. I have presented in the video format, and this topic is on influence, creating influence. So let us go in.
Hi, good evening.
Right, I
18th
will
of
do a
December
fast forward here.
2019. Purpose is good In fact, social media marketing is something to do with this particular aspect of influence. A person is a face is in Facebook. If you see a person's Facebook, then you tend to see a lot of his picture and who he is. A person is an image, also a video. If it's a lot of update or a lot of picture uploads in the Instagram, and the person is a web
Right.
page, if
Okay.
he's a blogger, like
Just
every day he
stop
writes
here and
something,
carry on
so
with
he
the
becomes a
subsequent
blogger.
presentation.
So of course, a lot of politicians are blogger also lah, because the right.
So likely, motion videos and also visual reality in the technology used in the website, having this embedded is actually for purpose. Like I have a friend in Penang doing this. So part four of my talk is on telecommunications. Right. Let us go in. So right, it's about using handphone messaging, basically using WhatsApp. So a lot of time people tend to use WhatsApp, and therefore WhatsApp, WeChat becomes a tool to reach your client. However, there's a danger of being bar and ban, because if you are sending to too many messages to one person or too many messages to unknown person, somebody you gather the telephone number, and then he doesn't know that you are sending messages to him. He may think that you are a scam, so he can report to you to WhatsApp or bar you lah. Only to send to people who has your handphone number, who accepted you as a friend. So some of my colleagues actually go into sending this WhatsApp, and then end up being barred and banned. So the other way out is to use this system of bulk messaging. Bulk messaging is something like you're using text messages, like you receive some promotional text from eMart. So likely you were in eMart before, so the capture of your handphone number so they send out. So this is advantage is that you can have unlimited number, almost 10 or 20, 30, even a few 100,000 of numbers, and you can even send out to mass public. Then there is no danger of being barred or banned, because this has gone through registration with the service provider. And then the disadvantage is that you need to be a company registered, either as a company registered as a sole proprietor, or just a Sdn Bhd company. So there are different level packages that you can use. Like you can use 50 ringgit, 100 ringgit a month, 200 ringgit a month. So the charges differs, and then of course the rate, the per simple message rate is also different. So for this package, Soprano EMS 200, then 300 wave, and then your monthly commitment fee is 200 ringgit. Your per simple one straight less than 150 character message is actually only 4 cents. So this mode of use of reaching your customer is also safer lah. So the key issue of using IT in real estate is the infrastructure. And we are looking at fintech and then PropTech. So there will be tech agency into the future where, agency would make it digitalized. So the reaching of customers would be very much dependent on this technology. And then there is also a huge amount of money involved if you are doing it in a big scale. So there is a barrier to investment. Last not least is this type of high tech or so-called IT enabled type of agency platforms would be sophisticated. Then you need to have experts on the area to manage and maintain. So, well, in fact, for small guys, for probably individual person on the street, then this efficiency may not be that important, because you can do marketing and promotion by just having a simple website, not necessarily capturing data, analyze the data, matching the right segment, especially if you are in one area, say you know your customer in certain area is like that, so definitely they are able to afford certain types of property range. Then there is no need of going and study in detail how many percent of them, because the majority of them are like that but in that area, so there is not necessarily important to individual level to do all the analysis. The challenges is that a lot of time when you digitalize information, it is not standardized. So sometimes there are reasons that they're not quite able to capture same information. So therefore, comparing property, making decision is difficult. The platforms is evolving also. It's a goalpost moving. Likely a person who is a IT person who use a certain high IT gadgets would move on faster than one who is IT less less IT involved. So of course, the platform may move very fast. Like now you have a platform of web listing which is on the map, and then the other people are still not using map. So let's say your platform or your cloud or your prospect wants a map, then they will go to those website that has got maps. So dynamic of the IT, dynamic of the real estate market, and also dynamic of the people may actually changes the platform or the landscape. So there's a issue of moving target, moving expectations. Summary to this the talk is that information is for decision making, and information used in real estate basically means using information for decision making. And rightly, big data is important in the future. That the PropTech startup are looking at all this, and then tech enabled or tech real estate merger means technology and people on the ground being developer or agent end up using technology in the work. So tech enabled company or tech enabled estate agents. Moving targets are unsettling, being that there is a lot of expectation, the changes and the evolving market trend in the area of using technology in the real estate. And then hard sometimes to combine with the standardized way of digitalizing the information. So there will be new waves of change in the future, and therefore I guess likely we are living in an era where changes would impact our work. Thank you very much for following this video.